Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Eye. We've got a great episode to start your semester with. Cheer is going into their second season, being the only one to do so, which is why we are learning more about the Fretzy Ford varsity cheer team this week. Since it's the beginning of spring semester, that means it's not only cheer, but also basketball season. Alex is learning more about this season so far from some of our players. Going into new territory this week, Anthony is sitting down with junior Gavin Long, talking to him to learn more about his computer engineering talent. Let's start this week off with sports by giving it to Julia.
You see them standing out front every game, but what you don't see is the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. The cheerleaders start in August and continue through the winter, practicing and preparing for each game. They're known for the heart and soul that they bring to the games by pumping up the crowd.
During the summer, we'll practice for about 2 hours, like 1 to 2 days a week, and we'll practice here in the cafeteria.
They practice during the summer and after school, but they still take time to hang out with each other to build bonds.
We do a lot of team bonding and getting to know each other before seasons, because we start tryouts in May because football season starts so early. So we do lots of team bonding over the summer to get to know each other more.
So we went to Keegan's house and we did pumpkin carving, and it was like a little bit of team bonding. It's a little good time away from the basketball games and stuff because we're more focused on the sport, and so when we get to go to someone's house and just chill and be friends and stuff.
As soon as Raylan was brought onto the team, I knew that I would just take her in as my own, because I knew as a sophomore making varsity, you're still looking up to older people, and I knew that it was intimidating. So I would reach out to her, ask her if everything's going okay, if she's learning all the material correctly, to make sure that as a freshman she looks just the same as the seniors cheering.
The football season has an entirely different atmosphere from basketball, with the location, the student section, and the band. But one thing that remains a constant is the cheerleaders.
It's always really sad when football season ends. I think the crowd enjoys football more too, so it's fun to get the student section hyped up and the crowd and everything. I think I prefer football season better because I think a lot more people come to the games. And I like to stand outside on the track and stuff, because sometimes in basketball season you can't see the cheerleaders, so it's more fun to stand. And I also like the band dances and stuff more in football season.
Cheerleaders face many dangers because of the extreme stunts that they do.
I've had a couple injuries this year. I've had a hole through my lip. I had to go get stitches, and I've also broken my finger in 2 different places. The girl was doing a cradle down, and when she did, she fell on my face, which my tooth went all the way through my lip. Everybody's really important, and everybody is really prone to getting hurt, just depending on what we're doing from day to day. So we all just try to be really careful with each other.
We lift girls above our heads, so usually if something goes wrong and you don't know the right counts, or if your team doesn't go up at the same time, your group doesn't go up at the same time, and someone else goes before you, you could fall, and that girl could fall on your head, and the girl in the air takes a lot of injuries just falling straight from 5 foot in the air to straight to the ground, so you can definitely get hurt and get lots of concussions and stuff.
Even with the risks and the amount of effort and time put into the season, the cheerleaders improve with each year.
I think being on a team with older people has helped me improve, because I get to see the seniors and stuff, and they have more experience than me, and so I kind of look up to them and learn from them, because I guess I just want to be as good as them and be up to their standards. Over the years, my technique on stunting gets better, so I feel every year I do get stronger in mental and physical way. It helps me overcome a lot.
You can see the cheerleaders perform at any of the basketball games. The next one is tomorrow against West Iredale at home. Heather?
Thanks, Julia. With cheer being one of our segments this week, we decided to also take a look on the court at our basketball players. Alex?
Your Fretzy Ford Tigers are 17 games into the season, only having 7 remaining. As of January 13th, the boys are 4th in the conference and the girls are 5th. Both squads are looking to end their seasons on winning streaks, having some thoughts on how this can be accomplished.
We started off slow, but throughout the season we started to bond and starting to trust each other and build chemistry a little bit.
As we got to play more together, kind of having a newer team, none of us really played much together. I feel like we have meshed well together and started to be more physical and move the ball more and get more assists.
Both teams have already improved in many areas since the beginning of the season.
We've improved on our post-entry passes. They've gotten a lot stronger, and we've cut back on some of the turnovers. We still need to work on it a little bit, and then our rebounding has gotten better, and we box out a lot more.
Passing the ball more, moving the ball around, and just taking care of the ball, not turning it over as much, and just playing more as a team.
While the teams have seen much progress to date, there's always work to be done.
If we play good offense, then defense plays good, but we really need to be flipped. So if we play good defense, then we can benefit our offensive side.
We need to work on finishing our layups when they're right under the basket, free throws, and cut back on all of our turnovers from unnecessary passes.
Samaria Tips is leading her team in 4 stat categories, including assists per game, steals per game, blocks per game, and points per game. Here she is on how she's able to produce on a consistent nightly basis.
On the weekends, I come in the gym and I work extra and just put in more work, and I've been playing basketball basically my whole life. So when it comes to game time, someone has to be a leader out there, so I just decided to take over when necessary and just do the best I can for my team.
Imani Eichert is leading her team in rebounds per game, that number being 9.6. Rebounding is a very overlooked but very physical and important aspect of basketball.
It's really tough because they're also as tall as me, so I have to jump high. I also have to box out at the same time and then release to go get it. You know, it's really hard when they're like the same height. When they're a little smaller than me, then it's a little easier. But when they're the same height or taller than me, then it's like it's harder. It's harder.
Holden Caldwell has been showing off his court vision this season, leading his team in assists per game and total assists by 39. Decision-making is arguably the hardest part of basketball, but Holden makes it look easy.
I just think that I try to get everybody involved, you know. I'm not really that selfish. As long as I can try to get everybody a chance to try to score, I feel like that's the best thing for the team to do.
Your Tigers leader in points per game, Preston Neal, has been lethal from outside, leading the team in three-pointers made and three-point percentage. Here's Preston on how he's so efficient from 3.
I would say just lots of practice. I mean, I've played basketball a really long time, and just lots of practice and just honestly just confidence. Once you miss a shot, you just got to be confident that you'll make the next one.
Tomorrow, the Tigers square off against West Iredell at home and travel to Statesville on Friday. Make sure to go support your Tigers in what is sure to be a promising end to their season. Now, back to you, Heather.
Thanks, Alex. We have taken a good look this week into some of our current winter sports. While it is important to exercise your body, you also need to do the same with your mind. And computer engineering will definitely do just that. This week, Anthony sat down with junior Gavin Long to talk more about his hobby and talent, computer engineering.
Computer engineering is certainly a heavyweight exercise to your brain. So what exactly sparked Gavin Long's passion for computer building? Well, ever since he was 11, he's been interested in technology and has not looked back since.
How long have you been doing the whole computer thing? You know, building them, coding them. How long do you think you've been doing that for?
11. Since I was 11.
So how'd you get into this whole thing?
Well, it started in my 5th grade science class, and we went over electronics a bit. My mom bought me a kit, and I've just expanded my knowledge since then. And it took off in high school when I took Jones's Electronics 1 class.
Go through like the process of, say, building that computer right there.
So step 1 is you got to pick a motherboard. There's many compatibility like checkers online. So you would pick a board usually and then pick a case. Some people pick a case then a board. It's just those two are the two main parts of it. You have to pick your CPU very wisely. You can either pick between AMD or Intel. Your next big piece of all of that is, of course, your RAM.
Just like, what's like a little tidbit about computers that do you think other people don't know about?
So everything about your computer comes down to the motherboard. So pick a good motherboard, because you could have top of the line parts and a small motherboard and it just won't be able to utilize all of your peripherals.
With 6 years of electronic experience, there's bound to be an interesting story or two.
So we were fixing an Xbox One, right? And I was putting a new HDMI port on it, and I was using the heat gun, and I heated up the capacitor so much that literally it popped off like it was designed to. So it was like a pop, and then it went 2 to 3 feet up in the air, hit the roof, and came back down. and it was smoking, and everyone in the room looked around. It was hilarious, but it was also scary.
Even though computers may not be their first choice, Gavin Long still has high aspirations for his future.
I have several fallbacks, I call them, for if something doesn't go right, I can fall back upon them, right? This is one of those. They're always going to need people like this, but it's not an oversaturated market hardware-wise, but software engineers, they have a lot now. But I use a computer, and it's my goal to fix everything I can that interacts with my life, especially something as integral as a computer nowadays. So I'll probably use it for fixing my own stuff or for another career path if I need one.
Even though their passion is computer engineering, Gavin Long is interested in engineering of the nuclear variety as a career.
I believe that our planet needs power sources that don't use as much land and as much rare exotic metals as solar and wind do, and lithium batteries.
And sometimes even the smallest things can influence future plans.
I watched a video by Salmonella Academy. It's called Thorium Rocks, and I think I was in middle school when that was released, and ever since then it's more prevalent than uranium, produces more power and less waste. It is insane that we're not using that. We're still using archaic uranium, which is just horrible. It's also safer because it needs plutonium to work, so you drain the thorium away from the plutonium and it becomes safe again. It won't melt down.
It's good to know that we have passionate people out there like Gavin Long looking to solve our difficult problems.
Wow, that's impressive. Sadly, I'm not very good with computers, but it's good to know that there are people who can help me. Well, that's all for this week, and we'll see you the next.